My name is Dion Vengatass. I'm part of the South African Culinary National Team. I was testing out the global knives. I've been using knives for many years. I'm almost 20 years in the industry, and I've used many different knives. I've went through a lot of them, and I must say, the first time I tried out the global, I was a bit skeptic in the beginning with the no handle and so forth, but it just grew on me. It's like sort of a part of my hand. It's light. It's got a good weight on it. It's beautiful edge. Sharpens very well. You don't need to take it in the stone a lot of times. Overall, really nice knife. Very happy with it. I'm going to be dicing an onion. First thing to do is cut it in half. A lot of chefs just top and tail it first before cutting it in the center, and I find you waste a lot of it. When it's in half, it's very sturdy. It's easier to just top or tail it, and you get minimum wastages. What I usually do, opposed to the conventional way of brunoiing it, I cut them into petals and release the petals so you get a more accurate brunoise out of it. And just separate them out. You can do the same with shallots, banana shallots, yellow onions, white onions, all the same. Okay, once you get there, then you start sort of slicing them. Once you have slices, it's easier to get your brunoise. And you can see with this knife, you don't need to put a lot of pressure on it. It's got a really good edge. It doesn't need a lot of weight in it at all. So you don't get a calluses on your finger. That's due to a blunt knife as well. Not right balance in the knife. I specifically enjoy this knife. It's my utility chef's knife or vegetable knife in some sort, because it's got these edges on it which sort of prevents the vegetables from actually sticking to it, so it just slides off of it. Gives you a more precision cut at the end of the day. Whenever dragging vegetables on your board, I always find using the back of your knife is very important opposed to using the edge, because you sort of damage the edge. When you're talking about knives, got this edge on each side of it. If you look at it on a small microscope, you'll actually see the edge bend over from one side to the other. So two edges that sort of form like a V shape on the edge of it, and you know your knife edge is on a spot on. At times you don't really need to give it a stone. It might just lean to the left or to the right hand side, and it's just a matter of running your blade across the steel and just to balance it out again. But you can feel that as you cut with it, if it's not on that edge or not. One of my oldest global knives is the 7 slicer. I've had it for many years now. It's never let me down. I haven't even lost that edge, like over about 12 years probably of having that knife. I've used it since I was a trainee on buffet slicing for guests on a breakfast buffet. And it's still doing me justice still today. As a chef, knives tend to become very expensive, but if you look at it in a different perspective as a sort of investment, because these knives can last you forever. There's some knives that sort of just, the blade just deteriorates as you go along, but it really doesn't have a sort of end to it. Overall, fantastic knife to use. Really good grip on it, good balance on the handle, very nice edge. The edges on the side just allow the vegetable to slip off from it. Very, very, very happy with this knife. I'd encourage a lot of chefs out there to use a global knife. If you're going to start off as well in the industry, it's something can sort of warm you up into the whole knife skill category and getting your hands used to it, After all, the knife needs to be a part of your entire hand, and I feel holding a global knife sort of makes it a part of my hand and fingers. It's all a chef actually really wants of a knife. Very, very happy with it.